So I've got my new switch down here. This is like a three-way switch, so center is off, and then you can go back or you can go forward. So we're going to put it into reverse now, because I still have to do that to get the reversing camera to turn on. And then if you pull it back, the reversing camera is on. Now we'll put the switch back to the center again to turn it off, take it out of reverse. Now I've got to put my Android Auto unit into ABN mode to get the front camera to work. Okay, and now if we push the switch forward, the front camera is working. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to my channel, and I hope you like today's video. If you like smart home and automotive technology content, then hit that subscribe button, because most of the time that is what you are going to see on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and installing this fisheye Frontview Camera, which is specifically designed for Volkswagen. And this camera in particular is designed to fit the Volkswagen Caddy van, which is of course what my vehicle is and what I will be installing this camera on today. It is indeed a strange looking camera, but there's a good reason for that. And that reason is because this camera's shape has been designed so it fits into the top of the Volkswagen emblem badge on the front grille of the car. I know, it's quite a cool idea, right? And that's also my reason for buying it. And as you can see, this Volkswagen emblem on the front grille of the car is laid back. It's not directly up and down, vertical. And so that's why the camera is also designed that way as well. As it fits into the angle of the badge on the grille, it will leave the camera facing out horizontally. So all of this is going to have to be removed because the camera installs from the back. Trying to mount a camera to the front of the car can be challenging, as you're limited to where you can mount it. And then there's the problem of how to make it look good. So in my opinion, that's what makes this camera such a great idea. And with this camera, the installation is definitely going to look very tidy, which I'm paranoid about when doing any installation. So I'm going to take a guess and say that this installation should be fairly straightforward. But if it's not, then that's okay, because I love a challenge, and I'm always getting faced with them, as you would have seen in my other car tech installation videos if you follow this channel. This camera cost me $27 plus shipping. The video signal is AHD. If you don't know what that means, it stands for analog high definition, and the resolution is apparently 1080p, but I'm guessing it's only going to be 720p. It has a viewing angle of 170 degrees, and it apparently does have built-in parking guidelines as well. It's waterproof and rated at IP68. This camera is obviously permanently wired. It's not wireless at all, and it's supplied with a 6-meter long video cable, but unfortunately I can't say the same thing about the power cable, so I'm definitely going to have to extend that. Over the last few months, I've had quite a few of my viewers asking me about parking systems and the cameras for the front of the car, and how to set up a system so it can switch between the cameras at the front and the back. While there are a few ways to make this work, I personally will be just connecting it to a toggle switch. And I'll be displaying the image from the camera on my Android Auto unit. At the moment, I have my reversing camera connected to this toggle switch down here, rather than my reversing switch. And the reason for that is for future projects on this channel that I have planned, such as today's project for example. This toggle switch here, however, is only an on and off switch, so to be able to use both my cameras, I'll need to replace that switch with this two-way toggle switch instead. Okay, it's time to get this camera installed, so we're going to do that now. And then after that comes the fun part, testing it out to see how well it works. Okay, the first step is to remove this grille, so we need to open up the bonnet and do that now. I said before in the video that this should be a fairly straightforward installation. I thought just removing these two screws here, it would just clip off, but no. It's now turned into a more complex installation because it's all part of the front bumper. So now I've got to remove the whole bumper from the car. Okay, I take that back about being a complex job. Removing the front bumper from a Volkswagen Caddy is quite possibly the easiest thing you will ever do. That literally took me 45 seconds at the very most. Okay, we have one slight problem. As you guys can see, you've got all this honeycomb stuff behind it. For the camera to go through, you've obviously got to cut a lot of the stuff out at the top part here. And as I said before, the camera slides in from the back. Sorry, I'm wrong. It actually slides in from the front. And it doesn't fit. So, now things are going to get interesting, because I'm going to have to try and file this hole out a bit bigger so this fits in tightly. So, even although this was advertised to fit the Volkswagen caddies, it looks like it doesn't. Okay guys, after a lot of perseverance, patience and filing, I've managed to get to fit. If you are trying this yourself, I recommend taking this top part of the emblem off, because you're going to have to file this part down as well, but you're going to have to take less off this than you are off this part here. This part in here you have to take quite a bit off. This part here, just be very, very careful, just take a little bit off at a time. And as I said, I did get to fit, which I'll show you now. That just clips on and off, by the way. Where's the camera? Over here. Okay. As you can see, it's now a perfect fit. It's obviously designed to be clipped in. Obviously I can't do it that way anymore, the way I've had to file so much of it out. So now I'm just going to glue it in from the back. Okay, I've got the camera all glued in the back here. I've just run the camera wiring loom around the outside here of the emblem, because it doesn't look nice when you've got the installation all finished and you've got this wire loom hanging down behind the mesh grill. It doesn't look good. And then I've just got the wiring loom going over here, which brings us to the next job, the wiring. But first of all, I'm going to put the bumper back onto the car before we start that. Okay guys, the bumper's all fitted back to the car again. I'm just going to give you a closer look at that camera, what the angle is like when it's installed. As you can see, it's definitely horizontally mounted now. So, and as far as getting the bumper off, if you're trying to do this on a Volkswagen Caddy, you've got one screw here. You can come around here and you've got one screw hidden up here. And then under the car, if I can get the camera down there without, where are we? Over here. Here, yeah. You've got two screws here as well, and then just repeat that for the other side as well, and the bumper just pulls off. It's that easy. Okay guys, I've just got the wiring into the inside of the car from the camera, just up behind the fire fuse box, and then I've got that coming over to the Android Auto unit. I did unfortunately have to end up cutting the RCA plug off the video cable to get it through the firewall of the car, but I expected that was going to happen, so I've got those in stock to fix that problem. So now I'm going to put another plug onto the video wire, fit the new switch, wire everything up, and everything should work. Okay guys, and now everything's wired up. There were a few problems at first. When I first tested it, it wouldn't work, and I'll show you why in a few seconds. But first we're going to test it out. So I've got my new switch down here. This is like a three-way switch, so center is off, and then you can go back or you can go forward. So we're going to put it into reverse now, because I still have to do that to get the reversing camera to turn on. And then if you pull it back, the reversing camera is on. Now we'll put the switch back to the center again to turn it off, take it out of reverse. Now I've got to put my Android Auto unit into ABN mode to get the front camera to work. Okay, and now if we push the switch forward, the front camera's working. So at the moment everything's just hanging there while I've been testing it. But yeah, as I said before, when I originally tested it, it wasn't working, and I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you the reason why that wasn't working now. And that reason was because of this wire here on the camera loom, this white wire. It's just looped together from factory. I don't know what that wire does because there's nothing in the instructions that gives me any clue. But if you have that wire connected or looped together, the camera won't work at all. So all I did was simply cut it in half, and now everything works. So if you are installing one of these cameras and you're having the same problem and you find that nothing is working, cut that wire first and try again. Okay, and now the installation is all finished. So we're just going to do one more test. Start with the reversing camera again. Reverse and switch down. Okay, it's working fine. Turn the switch off, take it out of reverse. I've got it on the AV install, so it should go straight back to that screen. Now we just flick the switch forward. And there's the front camera. Obviously that's probably not going to look very good in this light. It's getting dark now, guys. It's about nearly 7 o'clock at night. But that's a good thing, because that means we can now go for a drive and do some night vision tests as well. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just before we go for a drive though, I'll just give you one more close-up look of what the camera looks like after the installation. As you can see, it's nice and flush all the way around. So even though it wasn't designed to it was designed to fit the car, but even though it didn't fit the car properly, it was still a successful installation at the end anyway, so it didn't really matter. Alright, now it's time to go for a drive. Okay guys, now I'm outside. It's around about 7:30 at night, so it's not too dark yet. It is daylight savings. So I'm going to do another test now using both my cameras. First of all, I'm going to back into this car park space behind me using my reversing camera. And then I'm going to drive up to a tree, and I'll use my front camera for that. So put it into reverse, pull the switch back. Right, turn the switch off, take it out of reverse, and now I'll find a tree. Push the switch forward. As I was saying before, it's meant to have, well, it said it had parking guidelines, but it definitely doesn't have any parking guidelines. There's a tree here. Picture quality is not too bad though. Turn the switch off. Try another test with the reversing camera. Switch back. Obviously my reversing camera does have parking guidelines, but this one claimed to have them as well. These days when you buy products, they either come with no instructions at all, or instructions that don't make any sense. Sorry, or instructions with the wrong specs on them. Right, we're on the front camera again now. Drive back up to the car space. Yeah, I must admit the picture quality is not bad. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like at night time when it gets darker, and we definitely will be testing that. This part here that you see, that's actually a metal fence there. It's not just lines going through the screen. Let's try another reversing test. Switch back. I think the reversing camera is probably a little bit better, higher resolution for sure. As I said before, it's meant to be 1080p, but this is, I would say the front camera is definitely 720. Just drive up to this parking sign here. As you can see, having a front parking camera as well as a reversing camera is actually a really great thing to have. I do remember having one of these a few years ago, but I haven't had a front camera for quite some time now, and now I've got one again. It's kind of I kind of remember how much I miss the other one. Okay, anyway guys, I'm going to wait for it to get dark and so we can do some night vision tests. Okay, now it's dark, and I've parked myself between two massive big vans to do the night vision test. So first of all, I'm going to drive forward, turn the camera on. I've got my headlights turned off to make it darker. Right, I'll drive forward towards the van. That's close enough. Night vision's not bad. You can clearly see the registration number on that. Now I'm going to reverse to the van behind me. It's kind of like a double night vision test on both cameras, even though the reversing camera has I've done a night vision test on this before anyway. Right, now I'm going to drive forward again. So, what do you guys think of that? It's pretty clear. It's about, what time is it? 9:15 at night. Obviously with street lights on as well though. Okay guys, and that brings us to the end of another video. If you've ever thought about having a camera installed in the front of your car before and wondered if it was really well worth it, it definitely is. Having a reversing camera at the back of the car and another camera at the front of the car is fantastic, especially if you're trying to park in tight spaces, like such as parallel parking. It's not hard to do either. Most people could install a camera in the front of their car by themselves, well, with a little bit of electrical knowledge of course. I think this installation took me about 6 hours, but then I take my time when I do installations, so if it takes me like another 3 hours to do a 3-hour job, I have no problems with that at all. Anyway guys, if you liked this video or found it helpful in any way, please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more. I upload a new video every week. So until then, hope to see you all in the next video.